Hi, I'm Wade Nelson. I'm the editor of HardcoreOutdoor.com, and I'm with you again today to talk about some more of my favorite boots. This is the DANNER SANTIAM GTX 400 gram all leather hunting boot. Yes, that's its real name. That's a big name for a big boot. How about that? And it is a big boot. This one single boot is a men's US size 11.5. It weighs 2 pounds, 8 ounces. It stands, according to the tape from the floor, 9 inches. DANNER classifies it as an 8-inch boot. But it's a big boot. You know you're wearing these boots. And I got to tell you, this style of boot, and this boot in particular, is near and dear to my heart. It's very much like the boot that I grew up wearing and hunting in Arizona. It is really kind of the highest and best evolution of a traditional Western United States late season big game hunting boot. Okay, I mean, this is a boot that I wear and would recommend that you wear if you were going to be hunting elk on the Mogollon Rim in central Arizona in December in the snow. Okay, I mean, that's what this boot is made for. That's what this boot really excels at. And the truth be told, it's a glorified work boot, and that's not a bad thing. I don't mean that as a knock. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's a compliment. Work boots are made to be comfortable for long periods of time. You know, you get a good pair of work boots and you use them every day, and you know it's like losing a member of the family when you got to retire them and replace them with something new. That is this boot's DNA. That's where this boot comes from. Over the years, DANNER has upgraded it and beefed it up, given it bells and whistles, and fine-tuned it, and made it really the best of its particular classification. It is very comfortable out of the box. It is a relatively, and remember, I've tested a couple hundred pairs of boots and shoes over the last few years. It is a relatively soft leather. One of the reasons that makes it so comfortable. It's not designed and it's not made for, it's not a rock boot. Okay, this is not a boot that you're going to wear hunting Dall sheep in the shale of Alaska. Okay, that's not what this boot is made for. First of all, you'd ruin the leather long before its time, and second of all, the DANNER air bob tread or outsole, you would shear these air bobs off and you'd end up having to send them back to DANNER, which you can do, by the way. This is an American-made, 100% Berry compliant, recraftable boot. Okay, and so that means that you can send this boot back to DANNER. They'll repair anything, recondition, and they'll put a brand new sole on it for you, and it'll be damn near as good as new. Okay. That's a great value for a boot like this. You ought to get 2 or 3, maybe more recraftings out of this boot if you take care of it. So that's a very nice feature in my opinion. But again, it's a traditional big game late season hunting boot, and for that you have got a boot that is roomy. It certainly will accommodate medium to thick socks. It's got the 400 gram of Thinsulate lining here. You can see it. There's the leather on the outside, the green cambrel lining on the inside, and the white Thinsulate Ultra insulation is sandwiched in between. And so, you know, that helps a lot. That if you're sitting or you're in the snow, you know, that is going to help. It's not going to completely mitigate the snow, but, you know, it's one of the few insulated boots that I recommend, and I believe it helps. I really do think that it adds to the equation to help keep your feet warm. And again, it is a well-made boot, high quality, craftsmanship is very high on it. It's 100% full grain leather. It's a stitched down construction. You know, here's kind of the old work boot lineage here showing up. Not terribly fancy in terms of the mechanics on this. Good old-fashioned eyelets, a pinch cleat here at the ankle, and then fairly deep round cleats to get your laces around to cinch this up. Now, if there's one gripe that I have about this boot, it's the tongue. The boot, as I said, is very comfortable pretty much right out of the box by virtue of the construction and the roominess and the leather. But this tongue takes some work. You can see that it's connected fairly high up on the boot. Okay, that's great for keeping debris and snow and water out. But it doesn't lay down very well. It doesn't mold automatically your foot, or it's not pre-curved, pre-molded like we see on some of our higher-end European boots. The best suggestion I have for you on this is to submerge this boot, get it wet, put it on, lace it up, and wear it dry. And you might have to do that a couple of times to get this tongue to mold properly to your foot so that it doesn't cause any irritation, any rubbing, so that it lays down properly with the laces. So it's not a deal killer for me because the boot overall is outstanding other than that one little issue. But it does require a break-in period, in my opinion, because of the tongue. What else can I tell you about this boot? Fairly thick through here. This boot has got a nice wide stance to it. Okay, you can tell here there is a fair amount of cushioning, and it's fairly thick when you combine the outsole and the midsole here. And you can see this nice soft transition from the heel through the instep into the forefoot of the boot. You know, that's fairly unique, and it makes, again, for a very easy walking boot and a boot that you can spend a lot of time in day after day after day. It's got a nice, again, it's a fairly tall boot, and it's connected high up, so you're going to have to work a little bit to get through the neck down into the boot. Once you get there, fits like a dream, and it's very comfortable, but that's why they give you this big sturdy heel pull here. And that's about it. Again, this is what I think is the highest and best evolution. It's the top of the evolutionary chart for a Western style big game late season hunting boot. Just make sure you know what the limitations are in terms of where it's made to be worn and what it's made to be used for, and I think you'll be extremely happy with it. Again, this is the DANNER SANTIAM GTX 400 gram all leather hunting boot. If you'd like some more information on this boot or other great gear, come visit me at my site, www.hardcoreoutdoor.com. Thanks.